Let's talk Manchester United and Erik ten Hag's plans for the new season. Dutch journalist Marcel Van Der Kraan joins us. Marcel, very good morning to you. You've got an update on Manchester United, I understand. Can you talk us through it?
Well, Erik ten Hag has made it so clear to the United board and directors that he wants Frenkie de Jong and Christian Eriksen, that it's almost crucial for them now to follow up those plans of ten Hag. If they don't get those two players, I think it would be very much a breakdown of his idea to build a new model, a new style of football for Manchester United. It is all hinging on those two players, I think, in particular. He doesn't want any other players, you know, apart from those two first. There could be other additions. There could be more players. I know that in England, people say, well, he needs 6, 7 players. But ten Hag says, look, I've seen the style of Barcelona. I've seen the style of Ajax under my own eyes with Frenkie de Jong. If you want to play a certain great attacking style, which United need, then I need Frenkie. And with Christian Eriksen, he's seen at the beginning of this year, the calendar year, that the player came back from his hard shock, of course, last season. And where did he make his first steps? At Ajax. He was able to, with his own eyes, to witness the super fitness of Christian Eriksen again. And when he's seen him, you know, produce all those wonderful performances for Brentford, I think that really convinced him that he wanted Eriksen too. And those two can be a formidable midfield for United.
Of course, Marcel, they've got to get them. I mean, I want to ask you about De Jong and how suited he is to the Premier League, but also the fact you mentioned that he's stuck his neck out and said to the board, I want these players. If he doesn't get those players, how much of a blow is that?
Well, we have to go back to the first negotiations. We all remember that it took a long while before United actually had ten Hag in the bag or had him signed as a manager. Now, what was crucial there was not the money. We all know in this country that Erik ten Hag is a millionaire anyway, comes from a very rich family, and money was never an issue. But what was an issue was the kind of players and the input he would have in there, and how much power he had to bring those players in. And I think that was really crucial for him. If he was not having to have a say in which players could come in, I don't think he would have signed for United. He would have gone to Red Bull Leipzig, who made him an even bigger financial offer and gave him all the players, and he could have played Champions League, etc. But I think in the end, United realised that if this man is going to give us a new playing style, going to give us a really good footballing team, which we need in Europe to be one of the most, biggest, attractive clubs in the world again, then we need to give him his way. And I think that's, in the end, what happened.
OK, Frenkie de Jong then, what does he bring to United? Should he arrive? How suited to the Premier League?
Well, I think Frenkie de Jong can play anywhere, really, for a start, because he's such a formidable player. Sometimes he used to remind us of when he first came through at Ajax of Johan Cruyff. But he has his own style. Frenkie is Frenkie. His technique, his skills are unheard of in this country, also now in Barcelona. But what is the problem at Barcelona? There is a man playing on his position, Busquets. Sergio Busquets is probably one of the best holding midfielders in that position in the world. And Barcelona are not going to take Busquets out. What have they said now? It's difficult to accommodate Frenkie in another role, because his best position is in that Busquets role, really. And we also saw that over the last 2 games against Wales, against Belgium, when he played for Holland. He was absolutely outstanding again. And that's where he needs to play. And Erik ten Hag has rang him up and said, look, that's where you can play for me. Now, here comes the kind of politics in negotiations and big transfers in the world. What happens? Frenkie says, oh no, I'm happy at Barcelona. His agent's not making a single sound. Barcelona are saying, well, he's a great player. We want to keep him, only if he goes for real big money. Now, all these sounds seem to contradict each other. But in the end of the day, Frenkie, of course, wants to go. But he needs to say, I want to stay, because it would bring the price down. Because what have Barcelona said, if we all remember 2 weeks ago, for economical reasons, it might be good that he is sold, although we do think he's a great player. Well, when a club says that, the wagon is going, the train is rolling towards Manchester United for Frenkie.
OK, well, that's De Jong. You mentioned Eriksen and Ten Hag's kind of love of Eriksen relationship, him being a former kind of Ajax player. Is he the ideal man to kind of pull the strings in the middle of the park alongside De Jong?
I think Christian Eriksen knows the playing style of Ten Hag very well, because he knows the whole DNA of the kind of play they have at Ajax. And he was there before for years. When Ten Hag saw him back at the training ground, he trained with his own players. And, you know, you don't really need to look at the career of Eriksen to see what he's done everywhere for the Danish team immediately when he came back. And he is indeed absolutely perfect to match up with De Jong. I think he's really crucial for Ten Hag that he gets both players, because that's where he can kind of get the ball rolling in his team, literally, because it all starts from building up. Frenkie plays it from the back, builds it up. He needs wingers. He needs all the other players, Cristiano Ronaldo up front. He's got all them, but he needs two playmakers. And one of them is one who's already proven it in the Premier League. And what I understand is that he's been really impressed by his performances for Brentford. When he came there, Brentford were in a bad position. And Ten Hag watched every week how Eriksen was doing.
Yeah, you'd expect Ten Hag as well to kind of raid Ajax, wouldn't you? That's one of the concerns, I guess, that Ajax might have. Their defender, Jurrien Timber, was one of the players that Ten Hag had been linked with. Ajax apparently have rejected an offer from United. Is that deal dead in the water?
Absolutely dead in the water. The player was ready, I think, to come. His agents went over to London, to Manchester United's offices 2 weeks ago, and I think they had very good talks. Money was never a problem. But then one man turned up, Louis van Gaal, told the player in the Dutch camp, look, if you go there, I think your chances could be limited for playing for Holland in the World Cup 3 months later after the season starts, because, of course, the World Cup is in November. Now, for Jurrien Timber, a great, you know, Ajax-style player, a Ten Hag-style player, that was a bit of a blow. That Louis van Gaal made it clear that he would not be in his Dutch team maybe if he wasn't playing every week for United. Well, of course, United have got Maguire, they've got Varane, they've got great central defenders, and he would not be playing every week, and you wouldn't if you're 21 years old. But I'm sure Ten Hag would have wanted to slowly draft him into the system, into the team, and play him at the right times. But Timber said, look, boss, I can't come with you to United because my Holland place is more important. And now Ajax have jumped on the train and said, look, here's a new contract. If you're not going to United, we break open your contract. And since last night, his agents are in talks with them.
So Louis van Gaal perhaps not doing Manchester United fans any favours there, which will be an interesting relationship, I guess. I mean, the fans must be a little jittery given the fact that Liverpool have signed Darwin Núñez, Manchester City have signed Erling Haaland, and Manchester United have yet to get anyone over the line. Do you expect more comings and goings at Old Trafford in the coming weeks?
I think he really got his focus on these two top players, because Ten Hag knows he gets one chance if he wants to change everything at United. Erik has of course watched everything that's gone off, even under Louis van Gaal when he was there. Louis van Gaal could not change it. He reckoned he could, and he thought he was a top boss. And Erik knows if I get one go, it needs to be a good go. And if I have to change it, I need the right players. And so I will wait and force my way through to get the players I want to, the ones who can play my system. Maguire, he thinks he's a great defender, but only when he's paired to players who come and pick the ball up from him. He doesn't want Maguire to do the build-up, which is natural. He's great in defending, but somebody like Frenkie de Jong and Eriksen are much better in dividing and distributing the ball in a very attacking side. And don't forget, he wants Manchester United to play on the half of the opponent, like Manchester City do. When he was at Bayern Munich, Pep was his absolute icon as far as coaches are concerned. He plays the style he wants to play, really exactly the same at Man United.
Fascinating stuff, Marcel. Thanks for your company this morning.
Cheers.